so my mentor is Lakshmi KP, and she is a computer science engineer. She has an MBA in systems and finance, and she has been working in the technology field for nearly 20 years. She is currently heading the business engineering division in Object Edge, a commerce solution firm based in the Bay Area. She enjoys cooking, reading, and spending time with her 6th grade daughter. I chose to create an Arduino-powered laser tag game for 2 people. I found the idea online and it seemed like a really cool challenge. My original plan for the game was to make 2 suits and 2 guns so that 2 people could play against each other. However, the coding and building process took a little bit longer than expected, and I ran into a lot of problems with the Arduino LilyPad. The gun consists of an Arduino Uno board, a push-button sensor, an infrared LED, and a regular LED. The suit consists of the Uno board is a basic yet highly capable microcomputer, or very small computer. An infrared LED is an LED that specifically emits infrared light. I use the regular LED to indicate that the laser is emitting, because infrared light is not visible to the human eye. The suit also runs on an Uno board, and I originally intended to make the suit with a LilyPad, which is designed specifically for wearable technology, but I found it rather difficult to work with, so I used the Uno board instead. The suit has an infrared light receptor which receives the beam from the gun and identifies that the player has been shot. When the player has been shot, they lose a life and 1 light turns off. When they are shot 5 times, the game's over. I have learned so much about coding, specifically with organization. When I code, I tend to be kind of inefficient and just try to get the general concept to work. But Lakshmi has taught me how to be more efficient and organize my code by using functions and arrays. I condensed my code from about 100 lines to 70 lines, and it might not seem like a lot, but the code itself is much more easy to understand. I also learned a lot about electric engineering. For example, you should use resistors when you're working with LEDs, and I learned this the hard way by burning one in my hand. Also, it's important to write things down and organize your materials. I had to take my project with me a couple times because of volleyball tournaments, and things kind of fell apart in the process. And I didn't have any schematics or wiring charts, so I found it difficult to reorganize. Yeah. And the next steps that I will take to improve my project are mostly about the aesthetic portion. I have perfected and uploaded my code so that both the suit and the gun can run independently from my laptop. So now I can start to design a physical gun and suit. Eventually, I will try to make my gun work, or my suit work with the LilyPad, and I will duplicate the system so that 2 people can play against each other. I usually met with my mentor on the weekends so she could catch up with my progress, and we spent most of our time fixing our code and making it more efficient. We also talked about the problems I had encountered during the week. When we got to the building stage, it was a little harder because we couldn't meet in person, so I had to be a little more independent. So these are some screenshots of my code, and this is my gun code. So basically, the gun code reads if the button has been pressed, and if it has, the infrared LED and the regular LED will turn on. This part of my suit code sets up the variables that identify which light or sensor is plugged into which port and tells the Arduino if it is an input or output. I originally wrote each line or variable individually, so it was really hard to understand, and there's just a lot of stuff there. So Lakshmi taught me how to use arrays, which is defining similar variables in a list form that is easier to use and understand than a lot of individual variables. This next part of my code is called the shot function. Later in the code, the Arduino identifies if the player has been shot and they lose a life, and all of the lights blink to indicate to the player that they have been shot. This is the main loop of my code that repeats forever. Basically, the Arduino reads the sensor to see if the player has been shot. This is received as a binary 1 or 0 and is contained in the variable shot state. The Arduino then prints shot state to the serial monitor. If the player has been shot, they lose a life and the code executes the shot function. I'll be happy to show you more and answer any questions you have in my demo where I'll be showing my game. Thank you.